Alright, I think I'm live. I think everything is working fine. If there's anybody actually watching this, if I could get a yay or nay about the audio. No camera today because I don't have it plugged in. It has been a day. Just everyone can let me know if the audio is actually working. I'd be appreciative. I'm gonna stream for about an hour, maybe a little bit longer. We're gonna do some racing. Just because I needed something easy to do. I'm assuming the audio is working. Okay, good. Good. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. It's hard for you guys to know that my audio is working if my audio wasn't working because you couldn't see my lips moving. So I'm glad that that's working okay. I know it's probably doesn't sound all that great. For some reason, my compressor settings in OBS has been messed up for ages. And I didn't realize it, so I'm gonna have to fix that eventually. Then maybe I won't sound like I'm in a well or talking through water. All right, so we're just gonna do a little bit of racing tonight. I'm gonna mess around with Polybar. I've never done a Powerline Polybar before, so I don't know if I even know how to do it, but I'm gonna try. It should be fun. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk Powerline Polybar, that's gonna be. See, I didn't even search it right. My brain is not going to be working very well tonight. That's gonna be a thing. Anyways, let's see if I can find an image here. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. That thing, only better. That's what a Powerline Polybar. Good lord. Also, the mosquitoes are out like crazy. At least I had to come in the house. We're gonna get West Nile or something now. All right. So anyways, that's what I am talking about when I talk about a Powerline Polybar. I'm sure there's a better. Yeah, something similar to that. That's a really good example right there. Two colors alternating. It can be multiple colors too, but I think I don't know what colors I'll do yet. I'm thinking about sticking with the glove box theme. We'll see how that goes. Which I probably will need to get up here at some point. So, groove box. I've been told I pronounced this wrong. But however you pronounce it, this thing. Good lord. All right. Well, thank you, Uncle Bonehead. I appreciate that. This is groove box, drove box. We're gonna stick with that probably. As we race along here, let me actually see here. I'm gonna go here, and I guess the first thing we should do is cd into.conf. Actually, it's gonna be my repo polybar ls here, cd into themes. Now the grovebox.ini can stay because the colors aren't going to change. So we're going to cd into modules here. We're going to cp modules.grov into modules grov underscore powerline.ini. That way we can have basically the same bar, and we'll just start off from this working point here. I wonder what I'm doing every time I go silent. Something is biting the crap out of my leg. I'm down there swatting at the damn thing. Piss me off. Told you mosquitoes decided to come in the house, so piece of shit. Is this a VM or did you switch back to Arco? I'm on Arco. This is my main machine. I have Kino White on my other hard drive. I've been using that a little bit each day. That's the distro that I'm reviewing at the moment. It's honestly, it's meh, to be quite honest with you. I don't really care for Kino White all that much at all. The point of it is it really is developer focused. I don't really care what anybody else says. A lot of the tools that make Kino White good are for developers. I mean, unless you're really living that containerized life, it's not going to do much for you. At least as of right now, those are my opinions. I will be obviously make a video on that in a couple weeks. We'll see if anything changes. So what we're going to do is go into modules.grub _ Powerline. Actually, easier to do it back on where I'm actually supposed to be. And we'll go here, and that's the wrong one. Here, and here, and here. Okay, there we go. Now, in order for this to work out well, the padding is going to have to go away, or at least as much padding as I have right now. So I think actually that's going to be back in the configuration file, actually. So let's see here. We're looking for module margin left. So we're going to change this to 0 for now and see what that looks like. Yeah, that puts everything closer together. That's exactly where it needs to be. And then the next thing we need to do is go back to the Powerline INI file and scroll down. So the way this works, the way you get the little arrow thing, this thing here, the arrow at the end, that's actually just an icon. So if you create yourself a custom module, so it'll be similar to, it doesn't really matter which one we take, so we can take, we'll just go here and make a module. So module / separ, that's the arrow, 1, because we're gonna have at least 2 different ones. And we do this like so. So type equals custom / script, even though there won't be a script here. We're just going to be using it for I don't actually know if we need this or not, but we're going to leave it there for now. So we need format prefix equals, and then we're going to need the arrow that we're talking about. So we're searching for an arrow, and the arrow we're going to need here is, see if we can find it. Hopefully the nerd fonts actually have it. That'd be bad if I had to use something different. A lot of arrows here. I'm not seeing the one I'm looking for yet. Ah, there we go. There's one. Where's the other one? There has to be another one that's... There's no way they'd have just that one and not the one that points the other direction. Maybe so, though? That'd be dumb. I mean, if I have to use Font Awesome, I can. I have it enabled in the configuration file, but I prefer to use consistent font. I have to admit that's a little disappointing. Let's move this to a different workspace and see if we're just missing it because of how small it is. This is like the one that I want, but it's got to be pointed the other direction. That's rude. Why would you have that one? I mean, they call it the play arrow. That's not really what I want, but it would work if it was pointed the other direction. That's really weird. All right, well, screw it. Oops. Font Awesome Oops, didn't spell awesome right. Awesome. Good lord, Matt. Cheat sheet. There we go. I don't know if it's 5 that I have installed or not. I guess it doesn't really matter. Start for free. No, I just want you to show me the icons. Where the hell is the cheat sheet? Why is Font Awesome so freaking obsessed with making money? There we go. All right, arrow. All right, here we go. Let's see. Do. First of all, it only shows the free ones because I don't have the pro. Let's see. Where is it? It'd be hilarious if I can't find it at all. Theoretically, that one would work. Not the one that I want. Yeah, it's this one, but the other direction, the other way around. Maybe they don't. That's not even a possibility. Maybe I made that arrow up in my mind, like in my head. I mean, I guess we'd use that one if we had to. How is it you don't have a solid arrow pointing in the correct right direction? Oh, maybe that would work. Yeah, let me open that back up. Here we go. And there we go. Carrot. That's obviously not how you spell carrot. I spelled it like the very. There we go, right there. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for that. Who told me that? I missed who told me first. Whoever told me. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So here we go. That's what we're looking for. I'll go back here. And oops, you gotta have the right thing. Right there. Okay, good. Now, what browser? That's cute browser. Yeah, that one here was cute browser. Yeah, I had a configuration file at one point for it, but I don't anymore. So I just use a random one. What were my thought process for the color scheme? They're random basically, and if I didn't like what I chose first, I chose another. That's basically the way that worked. All right, let's see here. I think that's all. We're gonna need colors, obviously. So we're gonna need format, prefix, foreground equals, and format, prefix, background equals, I think. And then let's see here. I'm actually not sure if we, like I said, if we need this type script or if there's another type that would use. Actually, there's a way you can find out. SEP. SEP. There you go. Oh, it's text dash text, and then content. Okay. Equals instead of prefix. Okay, so instead of this, it's text. And this is content. And it doesn't need the arrows, apparently, which I don't understand. Can you make a tutorial for drummers about how to configure awesome window manager? I need a tutorial on how to do that. I cannot stand Lua. Not that I can't stand it, I'm not very good at it, but I have made a video about awesome in the past. It was a long time ago. So I'm sure it's not all that great. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to work or not. We're going to find out. Right, and we're going to make this. All right, so we need to clear all that mess and go into Syd my repo, Polybar, themes, Vim Grove box, and we'll make this smaller so we can. We don't need it that big, and we're going to make this $, squiggly brackets, colors, dot. Let's see here. We're going to alternate between, let's just for now alternate between green and, or aqua and blue. Let's just try that. So colors dot dark. We're going to, let's just leave it aqua. Okay. And we're going to comment this out for a minute because I don't know if we're going to need it or not. We'll go up here and we're going to vertical split into config. Actually, // config. Wonder where we are actually in the file structure. Where are we at? Oh, it'd be up 2. Okay. So, vertical split config. Maybe not. All right. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll just do it this way then. All right. I'm glad my videos can help. I appreciate that. Anyways, we're gonna go back here and just type. I'm gonna type in arrow 1. See what it shows up. Arrow 1. Didn't show up at all. Oh, you want to know? I know exactly the reason why. Okay, because we gotta go up here and change this one here to, oops, underscore Powerline. There we go. Okay. So that obviously is not appearing big enough. So we're going to also change the font. So we need to make the font of, I wonder which font it, because it's going to be, we're using the nerd font, but we don't want all to be bigger. I wonder if we change just this one. I wonder. It made everything bigger. Woo, look at that. It made everything bigger but the icons. So make this one 20. They made everything bigger too. It made all the icons bigger. We're gonna have to mess around with the size here in a few minutes because that's obviously not working. So go back here to, where is it? Right here. Right here. So content. Oh, yep. Missed this. All right. That actually made the. So the background is going to be. Oops. Background is going to be so, $, squiggly brackets, colors, dot, background. Okay, there we go. Every time I refresh, that didn't work at all. Did I spell background? Background. Oh, because it still says prefix there. Like, didn't I delete that word? Maybe I just deleted the word before and didn't do it. There we go. I bet you that's going to work. Yeah, okay. We just got to figure out how to get that icon to be bigger. That's the thing we need to do, is figure out how to make the icon bigger. Just that icon. The other icons are fine. Why is that icon so freaking small? LQ Larry says Polybar goes to the Firest font match. I don't know what that means. I think you meant I had a different word there. It is a good color scheme. Grubbox's favorite. Analog minded. I don't foresee a day where I ever stop racing. I have too much fun. I spent all day yesterday racing Qtile. I did it twice. It's a nerd font. You can specify which font. I can't remember how to do it though. I'm gonna have to go look it up. So we'll go which one. This will work. We don't need this anymore. Polybar. Take me to the GitHub, which is where I would rather have gone to begin with. Thank you, DuckDuckGo, Wiki. Zoom in. I stopped zooming in like 5 seconds ago. Wow, okay. That's your fonts. There we go. That's your fonts. Font 0, label active font. This tells the bar to use Roboto when rendering the label. So I wonder if you could use this. So content active font equals, what was that? 5 equals 2. So if we change this to 3 and hit save, and instead of keep opening this up, I'm just going to open up another one down here. Go to cd my repo, Polybar, and then vim into config. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to change that airline thing here in a minute. Let's see, where were we? So the font here, I chose 3. So we changed this here to 20. Okay, and that did nothing. That's because that's 4. This would technically be font 4, wouldn't it? Because it starts at 0. Probably doesn't actually work, but we're going to try. Let's change this to 4. Restart. No, that did nothing. Okay, so content active font doesn't work. Well, there's no label part of this module. When using icon fonts, you normally don't have to specify a font index because the other fonts probably doesn't contain an icon glyph, which is not true because I'm using a nerd font for the text as well. But in case the icon doesn't show up or the result looks odd, you should manually specify the font to be used. Finding font names, that's helpful. Anti-aliasing bitmap fonts. Yeah, maybe content dash font would work. We can try it. Change this to this. Restart it. It's not showing up at all now. Maybe because it's not considering that. Well, it came back now, but it's still. That's because now I have it at 2. Just change this to something really big. 200. 2000. Probably not 2000. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Because we change this back to 4, which is what would make sense for it to be. It doesn't show up at all. Oh, there we go. It got bigger there. Ooh, there we go. Okay. So obviously 200 is too big. All right. So 40. Try that. 40 is too big. 30. 30 is too big. 20. Oops. 20 is too big. And we're going to need to change this to 0. Maybe it actually has to go up higher. I don't know. So 20. Change this to 4 then. Okay. That was right, so back up to 30. I think now it's not getting bigger at all. Well, no, I'm even more confused because it was big a second ago, and oh, you want to know this because the dumb you can't do the rest of this. You deleted stuff. There you go. There you go. Okay, now 40 is too big again. 25. I think this needs to change to 5 a little bit. Not quite there. Another one. That's close. That's real close. Now. Yeah, I think if we go 7, or it's gonna be too far down. Yeah, it's too far down. 6 is about right. I think 25 is about the right size. Maybe 24 or 23. It still looks like it's cutting a little bit off. So maybe 22 and 5. Yeah, that looks better. Eyes are so bad today, I can't really make out the details. That's... Okay, so I think that's the right size. Now the question then becomes what happens next, because we need to... There's still a gap between that color and this color. So let's go down to the weather module and get rid of some of the padding here. So we're going to get rid of this padding here and this padding here and see what that does. I don't think it's going to do anything, honestly. No, I just changed the output because I'm a dumbass. We're going to leave that for a minute. We'll take that back to where it was. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. I don't actually have it. Because if we just remove the space here, that's not going to remove the space between the colors. No, that didn't remove space between the color at all. The thing is, we've already removed the module padding here to 0. I don't think it can be negative. I don't think padding can be a negative number. What, how do you remove that space? I mean, I suppose you could go back up here to arrow and make the background also aqua, but then that would just make it a square. You wouldn't be able to see the thing. But that's not the right thing. How to remove that spacing? I'll go back up here to weather. Look at margin, not padding. Oh, I am looking at margin, not padding. Where the hell is the Why can't I read? This is what I'm looking for down here. I think there's a padding. See, if I remove this is just going to... Yeah, that just removes the padding along the edges. That's not what I was looking for. Foreground, hit what? Yeah, padding's above it, but it just works on the outside edges. From what I've seen, I mean, I can try again. Where the hell did it go? Down here. Okay, so we change this to 0, and back to -1. I don't think -1 is actually going to work. No. That changed nothing. And even if we go to 0, the gap is still there. See, there's no... See, in every other situation, this is one of the things that bothers me about Polybar, is that every module is a little bit different. So for whatever reason, this one here does not require quotation marks. Everyone else does. It doesn't actually change it. But it's weird that this one here doesn't require it, where all the rest of them do. Space at the end of content. Well, see, that's what I thought, but that without the quotation marks there at all, it wouldn't even be counting the content. There's no extra space there. I don't know. It's really weird. Content padding might work sometimes. Okay, so that did in fact work. So if we change this to 0, that goes back to what it was before, but there's still a gap there. But if we go up to weather, oops, here, and do this here, make this 0, like so. That didn't change anything at all. Excellent. Dude, Windows is so much easier. That's funny. That's true. I'm sure it is true. If you were a drone, you'd be happy with Windows. Alright. That didn't change anything. Well, I guess the easiest thing to do then, if I can't find myself the answer, would be to go look for somebody else's. Nope. Huh? Look at this. I'm at the top of this Google search standings. That's funny. All right, let's see. Powerline for Polybar. This is not gonna help me any though, because this is just gonna be for the this is just going to be for the actual patched font for Powerline. Try using this one, F438. I don't know what that is. That's not gonna help me. Let's see. I'm looking for where you want reddit.com/r/Unix porn. And I didn't type it right, did I? No, I didn't type it right. Reddit.com/r/Unix porn. There we go. And then we can search for this Powerline. Really? None? 0? I don't believe you at all. Like, not even a little bit. This is like a really old rice. It's definitely been around before. Yeah, right there. Thank you. But I bet you that's not using Polybar, though. I bet you that's using Lemon Bar. Bet you that's Lemon Bar. GT's Polybar has Powerline. I think it used to have Powerline. I don't think it does anymore. Does the Polybar still take forever to install through the AUR? Yeah, because it has to compile. But if you use the chaotic AUR, you can get the binary. I don't know why Polybar is not in the regular Arch repositories. It doesn't really make sense. Oh, is that the reason why I couldn't find it on Reddit? Because I spelled it wrong? Can we get an imagine that, please? Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's not using Powerline. What the hell did you call that Powerline? The window manager doesn't really matter. It just has to be using Polybar. Lemon bar. That's not going to help me. I don't want to change it to a different bar. I like Polybar just fine. I know it can be created. Obviously, other people have created this thing. KLWP. That doesn't fucking help. The search on Reddit is awful. Yeah, that's it. I wonder if that is... Of course, this is the person having problems with it in York. He's not going to provide his dot files because that's not going to be helpful. I'm looking for somebody who's actually provided their dot files in an actual post. Watching this on Cinnamon, I feel like a noob. There's nothing wrong with a Cinnamon desktop environment. Alright, let's see. Keep going. I don't want to use a pre-made one. The whole point of this was for me to create it myself. But I suppose there's no reason why I can't go looking at this and see how they do it. Where's the link to this? Let's see here. The one that is similar to what we were looking at is let's see here. Kind of that one, but it's more, oh, it's this one here. But oh, uses, yeah, it's Powerline right there. So what number is that one? That is shapes. I guess they don't use numbers, they use things. So let's see here. When you scroll in with your scroll wheel in Qt browser and you just let a rip, it goes for a while. Even if you don't let a rip and you just do a couple like clicks on the scroll bar or on the scroll wheel, it still goes for a while. Don't think it's any of those shapes. Yeah, this is it right here. So we're looking for the first we'll look at the config.ini, see what this is. Margin top, margin bottom, include colors, modules, glyphs. We'll look at the glyphs here in a second. I bet you that's what we're going to be looking for. Let's see here. Height, offset, background, foreground, radius, top. Those are none of those things. Underline, border size, padding 0, margin 0. Have those already. That's about exactly the size that I had mine. Let's see here. Dim value, window manager name, locale. None of those things matter to me. Tray offset. Those are all the tray settings. Enable IPC. I don't know what that is. Enable support for inter-process messaging. Don't care about that. The rest of this settings, throughput, compositing stuff, transparency. Okay, so go back here to then the what was the thing that I was going to look at next? Was the glyphs.ini here. Okay, so glyph. I'm actually going to show the glyph, but content font, content. How did you get rid of the spacing? How did you change the spacing? So you didn't do anything here. Okay, so it wasn't in the glyphs, and then was in the modules? The module would be backlight, battery, BSPWM, which they don't, they don't even use the BSPWM in i3 modules anymore. They use X workspaces. Date, file system, GitHub, i3, memory, MPD, wire network, pulse audio, temperature, keyboard, title, okay, workspaces, the X workspaces? Yeah, I wonder why I have all three. Weird. So those, they don't actually show, because that's, these are the modules that they're using here. They wouldn't be in the modules. The spacing might just be the background overlapped. Oh, I wouldn't. But wouldn't the, so you can't change the background of the arrow, because if you change the background of the arrow to something different, the arrow goes, blends in. So, but if we change there'd still be a space. Prefix padding. Trying to think how would you get it to overlap? Where's the king of padding when you need him? What you'd want is some extra space in between here and there. I wonder. There's no way that actually works, but we're gonna give it a try. No, so that if you add extra space in between there, the background keeps going, but it still keeps that one little space between the arrow and the background. So it has to be first. Let's change that color. So it's is the right color. So the prefix foreground stays the same, but the prefix background changes to aqua. See, that's the right color. And the format background changes to aqua. And this changes to foreground, probably. I don't know how all that probably actually background is probably the best for that. That didn't work out. So that's foreground needs to change to background. This needs to change to aqua. that is closer. And you can see now that the colors are the same. Whoever was saying can you put the glyph in the weather module? I mean, you could, but that's not how it's done. I know for sure that this is how it's done. It's because, I mean, we're just there with this one here. That's how they do it. It's all separate modules for each glyph. But I don't know how they remove the space. Let's see where they actually defined those glyphs at. Well, they defined them right here. There's nothing special about how they defined them either. Weird. First we can remove the spacing here. And probably the spacing here. No, that's still gonna have to have some spacing. Yeah. Still spacing afterwards too. What cursor am I using? I honestly have no clue. Tell you the honest truth, about the only thing that on my system that I don't write is the cursor. So whatever the default is. Increase the size of the arrow. I mean, we could try that. Wait a minute. That's not the right one, is it? So we changed that. Wait a minute. What the hell am I in? Why didn't my font stay the same? Because that was not 2010 0. Oh, it's because we're in the wrong bar. Okay, right here. That's better right there. So if we change this to 42, that's not actually going to work. No, because it just goes up. It doesn't go in. It doesn't scale proportionally that way. So changing the size of it's not going to work. Oops. Increase the font size to 30. All right, I'm gonna try it, but it's just gonna make it. Oops, that's not 30. That's 20. Yeah, it just makes it bigger and hangs up off the screen. 22 is about right. But it doesn't. I wonder. Actually, you want to know what? Hold on a second. So if we put this in quotation marks and add in some spaces, like so. That did nothing. Damn. I was really hopeful that adding some spaces before it would push it back. Use a different font type. Well, I mean, I can change to Font Awesome. So change this to 1. And then go to here and go to, oops, wrong workspace. This here. I think this is Font Awesome, yeah. And then arrow. But it was the caret that, Font Awesome doesn't actually have the same one. Oh yeah, it does. It's right there. Caret left. Copy the icon. Go back to 2. Change this to that, even though it looks exactly the same. I just made it really small because this size here is different. So change this to 22. Change this to 5. That did absolutely nothing. It's because I changed it to the wrong font. Oops. This needs to be 2, not 1. There we go. Oh shit, look at that, fellas. We're using the wrong font. Nerd font doesn't work. Who told me to do that? Nick. Nur? I can't read your name. My eyes are blurry. Nur, thank you. I think that's I probably butchered your name for all the thanks. Thanks for telling me to use a different font. Somebody else probably was already shouting at me in the chat telling me to do that, but there you go. Cool. Cool. Now we need to do it again. So we're gonna go back to this here, yank all this, yank, paste, and change this to arrow 2. Oops. Close that bracket. The colors are going to change. So this one here is going to be dark. We'll just go ahead and use dark purple. Foreground, dark purple. Okay. And then down here, we need to insert this before an arrow 2. Like so. Now, the real question is then, how do we get it to overlap the other one? The previous. Because in the way they do it here, we can see where we were before. See how they all overlap? Like so. How do they? I wonder how they do that. That's the next task. You read my name like Near. Okay, Near. Okay. I will promise not to remember that because there's no way I will remember it, but I appreciate it. I'm gonna probably start calling you Nero like in Star Trek. So, that's probably how I remember it, is Nero, Near, basically the same thing. All right. Back here. So the question then, like I said, becomes how do you get those to overlap? Set the background color to aqua. Oh, brilliant. Yes. All right, so then we need to go to that's uptime here and change this here. This for the prefix background needs to be dark purple, and the prefix background also needs to be dark purple. Playing with fire. Oh, look at that. All right, now there is some space after the weather one that does not need to be there. A little bit too much space between here, so I'm going to change this number here to 2. That's a little bit better. Probably should just be 1 then. I didn't actually change anything. Wait a minute. Am I actually changing the... Yeah, that's weather. After the output. So I wonder if we actually just delete this completely. Yeah, that's better. That's way better. So good. All right, so after uptime, go uptime back here. We need to in the prefix, delete one space here, like so. Yeah, that's better. That's good. That's good. That's good. Sweet. Yeah, Polybar is probably the easiest bar to use, I think. My biggest qualm with it is always that each module has different syntax, or at least some of them play by different rules. It's a little weird. What's the best way to make a full image backup of Arch DD? Well, if you know how to use DD, it probably is, but you probably could just use rsync. Rsync would probably be safer. If you're going to use DD, make sure you know how to use it, because it's called Disk Destroyer for a reason. Alright, now we need to go down here and change this one here. So this goes to arrow 1, and this one here is arrow 2, and this one arrow 1. Okay, now go up here to, let's see here. So the next one is going to be memory 2. We change this like so. So the background, this one is going to be aqua. So the background should be aqua. Yep. This one should be aqua as well. Aqua. And oh, for arrow 1, the background here needs to be dark purple. So, all right, so how do you get the first one that appears in the thing not to have the background? Do you have to create a... So if we... I mean, this seems weird, but we could change this to arrow 0, and this, instead of being dark purple, gets background, like so. Because it's the first one. And this one here, I'm sure that this is a convoluted way of doing it. I'm sure there's probably a better one, but that's better. Okay. DD is the new RMRF. Haha. It's not new, though. DD's been around for a long, long time. But it's one thing about DD is that it's easier to mess up your entire system with DD than it is to mess it up with RMRF, because RMRF, there are built-in like warnings. Like if I tried to RMRF my system right now, it'd say, "Hey, are you stupid? Are you really trying to do this? Are you sure?" And it would do that a couple times. DD, if you sudo that thing, it's doing it. There's no warnings. That's what makes it so difficult. Okay, so that is memory 2. So the next one is going to be CPU 2. And this one here is going to be, this one's got to be dark purple. So the background, format background. Why don't I have the foreground? Actually, I'm pretty sure this is going to have to be background. We'll see if I'm right about that. So the format background should be dark purple. And this one here is going to be the... I don't know if I'll end up sticking with these colors or not, because I might choose different ones, but it'd be easy to change them now that I've learned how to do this. So the format, format foreground probably stays the same, but change this to dark purple. CPU. Now, moving on to date. Okay, so this one here is going to be aqua. So the foreground can stay the same for now. It's fine. This changes to aqua, and this changes to aqua, like so. And there we go. Now, actually, the foreground for that needs to change because I cannot read that worth a damn. So, format foreground needs to be changed to background. So, there we go. That's much better. Sweet. Now, what we're going to do is go down here and move music to wonder what the best place to place the music would be at. Putting a new one here at in the center is dumb, because then I have to go through and change all the rest of them. So it's going to have to be here, music. Where'd be the best place to put this? All right, let's change this first. There's that. And then change this to put in arrow 1. That's right. So this one here is going to, that means arrow 0 is going to change to, oops. Change this to dark purple instead. And then go back up here, go to music, change this to, the background changes to dark purple. And that should stay this, oh no, this here changes to different. So this one changes to background. And this changes to dark, oops. Dark purple, which I still can't spell. Now, how'd that turn out? I would try one of the hard glyphs in nerd fonts. I'm not sure. I think I saw you say that before, but I don't know what that is. Where I've really got to spend some time messing around with I bet this probably would work. I don't know if it would work better or not, though. But we could try it with one of them. Let's try it with arrow 0. So. That probably is what you're looking for. So we change this back to, what was this, 4? Like so, and this is going to be for the first one. Yeah, I don't really notice a difference. Do you guys really notice a difference between using those two different ones? I mean, other than it being bigger here, it looks basically the same, from what I can tell. Like I said, for the most part, this is what it looks exactly, I think it looks exactly the same. Now, the question remains then, what do I keep with those colors? Because originally I wasn't going to use the purple and the aqua, I was going to use green and blue. Well, you want to know what we could do? let's go ahead and we can close this now and quit this. What we can do is do %s and then slash, and wherever we see dark purple, replace it with dark blue and do that globally. Okay. And then do the same thing. So %s slash for wherever we see dark, or wherever we see aqua, change it to dark green. Oops, I did that wrong. Got a little too excited there. %s slash aqua. This is probably not going to end well for me. Dark green, and do that globally. Enter. Now save and do a refresh. See how that worked out? I don't really like the green. I like the blue fine. We're going to change it to different green. I wonder if dark aqua would actually work better. Let's change it to %s slash dark green slash dark aqua slash G. See how that goes. Oh yeah, that's lots better. Woo, I like that. That's much better. I mean, theoretically, it would be easy to add in a few extra colors. So we could alternate through all the glove box colors here. But I think then you need to do different arrows for each color, right? There's one more space that I got changed. So date here, down here, we need to take one space out of this, I think. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Same thing with the memory. So memory 2. This needs to have the spacing between the icon and the end needs a little bit less. If that worked better, or if it needs to come off from the other. No, that worked better. Yeah, that looks good. Sweet. Yeah, the reason why I named the colors is because it was easier to do that when I copied the colors over from the website. It has been a very productive. It's very rare when I start a stream saying, "Hey, I'm going to do this thing," and then I actually, do this thing. Definitely wouldn't be able to do it without the chat's help. So I appreciate everybody who has helped me. That's for damn sure. So that's Grovebox. Let's now, do I want to go through and put some other colors in there, or do I want to leave it at the 2 color toned? Let me do something different. Let me do something different because I think I have something that's going to look really cool. So instead of dark green, what we want to do is doing %s slash dark green. Wait, is it dark? It's not dark green, it's dark aqua. Okay, slash. We're going to replace this with background. And then do G. Okay. And then write this. Now, we're not going to be able to see the text yet. We're going to change the text. But if we change the text of those into the foreground instead of the background, which we're not going to be able to do a search and replace for. But I have a feeling that will look pretty cool. So let's start with date. Down here. So the prefix foreground needs to be foreground, and the format foreground needs to be foreground. Damn it. Like so. See how I like that? That's kind of cool, I have to admit. Will I post the races on GitLab? Yes, I will. Once I'm, and actually I can, you know what? Once I'm done with doing what I'm doing right now, I'll go do that so I don't forget. Give me a second. But let me finish this. So this one here is going to be the memory one. So memory 2. The foreground needs to be foreground, like so. And the foreground here needs to be foreground. And then the other one here was weather, I think. Without being able to see, it's kind of hard to remember what they were. Like so, and like so. See how that looks. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I have to admit, that's kind of cool. And then if we change, actually, instead of having the prefix, what if we change the prefix foreground to other colors? So for this one, dark green, like this. And then memory 2, change the prefix foreground to dark yellow. And change the date 1 to like to, let's just say, dark red. Why not? Oops, damn it. Let's see what that looks like. See if that livens it up just a bit. That kind of works. And if we can figure out colors that would go well with that blue, the other icons can change too. So let's see here. So if we go to music, we'll start off with music. Prefix foreground. First of all, delete the space. And change the foreground here to, oh, let's see here, dark purple. I don't know if those will go well together, but we're going to find out here right now. Not really. What other color could we use? Orange, maybe? Or maybe. Hold on a second. That's dark blue. So if we do %s dark blue, change this with dark orange /G, what does that look like? I don't know. A little too Halloween for me, but that's not bad. But I don't think I'm going to be able to change those icons. I think they're going to have to stay a different color, same color. But in this case, I think it's going to have to be foreground. Oh, I didn't know that about Vim, Analytic Minded. Thanks for sharing that. Orange and yellow. Orange and yellow. I don't know if that dark yellow would show up or not. We can find out. Change this to dark yellow. I can spell, damn it. And change the foreground format to foreground. I think white's going to show up better in that orange than the dark will. Yeah, yellow doesn't really work. You can see it, but it's still too faint. It's going to have to be one of the darker ones. What else goes with orange? We could try the green, like the dark green. Now, green doesn't really work either. It's just going to do white. I have a feeling it's going to be the foreground color. I think so. Yeah, the foreground color works the best. Is green and violet. Well, purple is the closest thing I have to violet. Purple one didn't work. I don't think dark purple worked very well. That's the reason why I keep doing change letter, but I've been hitting the D instead of. So that's the reason why I haven't been going into insert modes. Dark purple. Yeah, it doesn't really show up there. I think it's gonna have to be the white, which is a little bit disappointing. Uptime. Change the foreground of the prefix and the format to foreground. And same here. And then the last one was CPU 2. Change the foreground to background and foreground here to foreground. Wait a minute, did I mess that up? Oops. There we go. I mean, like I said, it's a little too Halloween for me, but it works. It kind of really works. Like, the other colors for Grovebox are a little subtle, more subtle than I would care for. That'd really be cool. I mean, if we used one of the other colors for the background instead of orange, if we used, like, blue or aqua or something, the other colors would show up better, but none of those really go together either. Grovebox is one of those color schemes where some of the colors just really don't work well together. Not necessarily that they clash, but they don't, like, if you use one of the lighter colors on top of one of the darker colors, it doesn't always show up together because they're so close together. Okay. I have to admit, that looks pretty fucking good. Like, it really does. I have to admit, it's really nice. Now, the last thing that needs to change is if we go here, oops, that's the wrong one. We can close that. Control C here, go to the config file, and go up here to the borders. So what we want to do is change these borders to 0. I think. Yeah. That looks a little better. Yep. That looks pretty cool. Now, what we need to do is quit out of this and CD into my Ranger here. And go to Pictures, Walls, and then Other Walls, and Dedicated Color Schemes. Grovebox. Don't know. That one doesn't really work all that well. That's the one that I had. That one works okay. Go here. Doesn't really have orange in it at all, does it? It's weird that this Grovebox wallpaper doesn't have orange in it at all. Okay, so go back to here. That one doesn't really have orange in it either. Um, I don't think that that really works all that well. Not really. I don't really like it. I don't care for that either. Okay, so we're going to go to different... Go back to here to abstract, maybe? Something that has orange in it. Not really. That's blue. This is always the hardest part, is finding a wallpaper that goes along with it. Those aren't the right color. Those are Monakai colors. Are you able to set the wallpaper by just selecting the file? Ooh, so I have a key binding in Ranger that is BG. It sets the background file. So if I open up my cd.config ranger vimrc.conf, you'll see right here. So this is the command that I use. So I mapped BG to shell CP, and then it just copies the current selection to the place where Fest stores its wallpaper in this case. So that's how I do that. So if I select, just say I do that, I hit BG, and it selected that wallpaper. That's how you do it. That configuration file is in my... Man, if that wasn't to have a weird solarized background, that one actually would kind of work. For that BG thing that I did in Ranger, I'm pretty sure I stole that from Luke Smith, so credit where credit is due. I wonder. I don't know, that one I might come back to. If I end up having to edit a wallpaper, I might edit that one. Wait a minute, are those duplicates? Those are duplicates. Always trying, every time I find a duplicate, it's basically a Debian logo. I delete them whenever I can see them. What the hell is even that? That's not a wallpaper. That's a color swatch. No. Let's see. That's the one that I made. Too bright. Too bright. Too bright. Not the right colors. What the fuck is that? Are those all those little people? Those weird... Like, you see those... You know those, characters. What the hell are those characters? Jib-jab characters? Is that those are? Purple. It was wrong purple. It's going to be none of those. Those are all really weird. Here. I have a feeling the one that I was on is going to be the one that I choose. That one there's a little bit too Nord, or one dark. Too blue, right? Alright, so that was the abstract. I don't think I'm going to have any anime that will really work. Most anime is either going to be really bright like these two, or blue. If anybody asks me what these anime characters actually are, I have no clue. I just have an anime folder for reasons. You can't be a Linux nerd without not safe for work. you can't be a Linux nerd without an anime folder, even if you don't like anime. And it's not that I don't like anime. I love that wallpaper. Because I don't think I'm gonna have these are all gonna be too bright. Well, I don't think realism really works here. Yes, thank you for Reb Wilson for telling me I reached 15,000 subscribers. I know that, actually. Appreciate that. You're always a couple days late there, Rob Wilson. Now that one's a little bit closer. You know, going with the Halloween theme, that kind of works. I'm just saying. I got some Hogwarts-esque. There's actual Hogwarts. That's too blue. The rest of the stuff is all going to be very, very fresh. Video request theme ranger. Yeah, I don't theme ranger ever. I don't, I just let it take the colors of the terminal. It's so much easier, just let it take the colors of the terminal. None of these are going to work, almost guaranteed. They're all going to be way too bright. Black and white, I suppose. Like random person in a wallpaper. Okay. I don't think that works. And I think Uncle Bonehead, you said, aren't you supposed to start with wallpaper? Yeah, I always do shit back asswards though. Why is that there? Oh, it's a castles. That's the reason why it's there. Well, then it should be in the castles folder. Doesn't really work. Doesn't really work. Too blue. Some really weird shit that I've downloaded. A lot of the stuff came from other wallpaper packs, so don't don't judge me too much on it. I didn't actually download these individually. I did sort through them, so I had the opportunity to delete them. I'm pretty sure I've seen that one before. All right, so none of the architecture stuff, city stuff. This is again going to be very, very bright or blue. Boring. I like those colors, but they're not the right ones. This is not going to work well. This works better with one dark. It's, oh, you want to, I have a picture. Let me see if I can find it. Not that one. Not that one. There's one with orange highlighting in a city somewhere. Come on. Tell me I have it in the right place. That's not it, but it's close. Hello, random person. Yeah, I don't want full orange. I just want to have some... I mean, everything else has orange in it. And having a blue background doesn't really make sense. I know the one that I'm thinking of. Where is it? It'll piss me off if I don't see it. Some of those that I passed by probably would have worked. But now that I have the one in mind that I think that I want, I'm not going to want any other ones. Like a whole bunch of random people in these. Sometimes I get the feeling that I downloaded somebody's just random pictures. That's a cool picture, but it wouldn't fit. Come on, where is it? That's it, right there. It might be too bright, which I'd be really sad about. It kind of works. It's not perfect, but it kind of works. All right, and then we have the Grovebox theme for Alacrity already done, and Vim, and Firefox is already done as well. So that's not bad. Not bad for a night's work. Not the perfect wallpaper, but I actually thought that the orange was a little bit more in that picture, but it works well enough, I suppose. Maybe that's not, is that even the one that, maybe that's the one I was, which one works better? That one's a little darker. Not really the best, not as good of a skyline. I swear I had one that was a little bit better. I like that wallpaper a lot. Nord is a good color scheme, but it's just too blue. I don't mind blue, but it's literally Nord is all blue. Even the white is blue. That one kind of would work. Has some orange in it. Might be too light though. That one's kind of futuristic. What does that look like? That's way too, that's really busy, bro. Wow. I don't know where to look first. City of the future. I have a lot of those like that. Someone asked me if there was a place where you could get all my wallpapers. The answer to that is yes. It's on my GitLab. It doesn't get updated very often because it's a huge freaking upload. So it may not be the most updated thing, but most of them are there. I think it's something like 3 or 4 gigabytes worth of. What is that doing in the cities folder? I'm just deleting that. I'm never using that as a wallpaper. Try Wallhaven. I've pretty much downloaded every wallpaper Wallhaven has. I did that with Gallery DL, which you can do. It's I don't think I actually made it all the way through the download, but there's quite a few. I'm not set on using a city one, but let's go back up to where we were. This one might actually work. You know, it kind of does. Honestly, it's kind of the right color. That works. All right, that's good enough. And then now you have to retheme everything. That's part of the fun of ricing. I change my rice once or twice a week. That's the reason why I have that whole system set up where I just have to change one line. I can just change one line in the configuration files, and bam, I've changed a theme. And the more I theme, the more themes I have to choose from later on when I need to have a change. All right, so that is it for, I think, me on this stream. I really do appreciate everybody who helped me in the chat tonight, because I probably wouldn't have gotten this far without you. I was being pretty doltish there for a little while, if that's a word. But it has been a really long day. I've been up since like 5 o'clock this morning. It is now 10:19, so I've been up for a bit. So I do appreciate everyone who showed up for stream, watched this. I really do appreciate everybody, each and every one of you. I do usually stream every Sunday night around this time. I was a little late this week, but it's usually around this time. Most of the times it's just this kind of thing. I either rice or I look at distros. I have a vague idea that I'm going to try to install my own instance of Circs next week. Whether or not that actually happens, I don't know yet, so don't quote me on it, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, every Sunday around this time, I do some streaming. We also record the podcast on Thursdays lives, but that's beside the point. Before I go, I should take a moment to thank my current patrons. I'm not going to read out all these names, guys. I'm really sorry. If you're interested in supporting me, you can do so. Patreon.com/linuxcast. Everybody who supports me on Patreon, you are all held dear to my heart. But there are so many names, and I'm really interested in some water right now. So just thanks to everybody who has supported me and does support me. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because the channel is rocking, and I have some really good ideas for videos. So I'll see you guys next week.